You know, I've been really pleased with Stetson Bennett through this first, block. I mean, he's playing the position at a high level. Ty hasn't gotten quite as many reps, but he's really improved a lot from the spring until now. But Stetson has been a real positive, and as has Ty. Stetson's just had some more reps, but been really pleased with him and ability to be able to create off schedule, reading with his feet. Dave Ragone does a great job, and then obviously Matthew's leadership in that room. And when he's out here, there's just that presence and that ability to kind of lead those guys. And you follow his lead, you'll be in good shape.
So a few more reps for Ty today. What did you like the best that you saw?
What was the beginning of your question?
He had a couple more opportunities this practice. Just what do you like?
I think he's doing a good job, just really being able to just, take what the defense gives him. Our defense does a nice job of making you get through some different progressions. It seemed like he was able to do that. And so it was minimal reps, but the ones that he had seemed like he did a nice job.
Saw that sideline throw where Matt made it, and you went running over there, not only to congratulate the wide receiver, but also the DB for making a good play on that.
Yeah.
That was just one of those.
Which one are you talking about?
The one on the sideline.
To Colby in the beginning of the practice?
Exactly.
Yeah, this is BY. They did a heck of a job as an on-the-line of scrimmage player. And what I like, Vinny, is just good football. I just want to see, it's not necessarily about who wins and loses, but are we having good quality football that if we can continue to raise our floor, then that's going to be, conducive for success. And I love this group. I love working with them. They bring the energy. They inspire me. And, I like good football, whether that's a great defensive play or offense, and that just happened to be a really good play all around where Matthew and Colby make an unbelievable play and BY making it that contested from where he was as a quarter flat player is impressive.
Sean, are you a believer in iron?
I'll come to you right after this. Go ahead, sir.
As you get closer to week 1, have you made a determination of how you'll handle traveling to Melbourne?
I have, but I'm going to keep that internally. Sorry to disappoint you. But what do you think we're going to do?
Is it similar to when you went to
It'll be a similar approach, and really the goal for us is to try to keep guys in as close to a rhythm and routine as possible. This is new to us even, going this far, and so, I trust our group, and most importantly, what's going to be best for our players, and we always try to take that in consideration.
Are you a believer in iron sharpens iron, and now with the additions you have on defense, you have an elite defense going against elite offense in practice every day that I might argue might be more beneficial for them competition-wise than these scrimmages against the Cowboys or Saints?
Well, I think it's great to be able to go against somebody else, but I am a believer that if you have great competition on both sides, that you continue to be able to improve, and we want to be able to callous each other. Iron sharpens iron. I do agree with that, and I think the looks that we're getting is, let's learn to lean into productive failure and understand that if we have the courage to go for it, sometimes it might not always go down, but in a lot of instances, you can learn best when it doesn't go the way you want, so then you can correct it and then be able to apply it with no repercussions or circumstances, and that's how we want to live. I think that was one of my favorite things about last year's team, and we've got a lot of continuity, but you do it all over again, and those are skills that we build, and so far I've seen that, on display.
Coach, speaking of good football, Byron Young obviously had the double-digit sacks last year and had an unbelievable day of practice today. Can you talk about what you're seeing from him and just what makes him so special?
Just got a great way about himself. All he's done is just get better and better from his first year to second year to his third year. He's just got this great way about himself. You want to talk about a guy that's mentally and physically tough. He looks like the statue of David out here, but he's awesome. I love everything about him. I told him the other day too, his attention in the meetings in terms of his nonverbal communication, he just looks you, he just stares a hole right through you in the best way, and I love everything about this guy, and and he had a great day today, and he's awesome for our defense and for our team as a whole.
Coach, some of your defense. The next step for him is after a big 12-sack season last year.
Just continuing to take those steps. The stats aren't exclusively a reflection. He did play better, Nate, but sometimes it's really how are you affecting and influencing things from a defensive perspective to the offense, and he does a great job of being really productive in both phases. I think he can create on his own. I think he does a great job on some of the 2- and 3-man games where he's a tight wrapper or looper. He's got position flex where he can, be an underneath zone defender, but we like him when he's going forward a lot more often than not. And, he's all about the right stuff. Just continue to do what he's done. I've just been, really pleased with Joe Caniglio, the leadership in that room. And it's also cool to watch he and Myles continue to build and develop their relationship and the respect that BY has for, a lot of the wisdom that Myles has and them, really just mutually being able to share with one another.
Sean, a few more guys. Presuming Puka continues to perform like the way he has on the field, what do the Rams have to see from him off the field to ensure his future?
You know, here's what I would say. You know how much I love him and the heart that he has, and I've been really proud of what he's been doing and how he's taken accountability for some of the things that we can learn from. You know, I want to just be able to see him continue to be that positive influence both on the field and off the field, and he's taken those steps, Gary, and I am hopeful that we'll be together for a really long time. It's hard to say, like, you know, I don't know that I can really say like this timeline or stuff like that, because I don't think you want to dangle a carrot that way. I think, you know, he's inspired to do right because his heart is right, and then I think, you know, the contract and things like that will take care of itself, because he's an incredible player, and like anything else, he's continuing to mature as a man. I love him, I love his heart, and I love, you know, the growth that he's had, and we're with him every step of the way.
Sean, what does that say about him, that he's out here, he's not holding out, despite what's, you know, while this thing's looming, he wants to be here and help you guys win?
Yeah, I think it says a lot about a lot of guys that are in that situation. They love football. You know, they know that this is a great opportunity to have great community with your teammates, and this is part of, you know, the game. You know, you love the enjoyment. There is a business part of it, but I think you try to just communicate clear, open, and honest with them so that they can have real clarity. All of these guys' agents, you know, have done a great job of being able to communicate with us, and we'll see what the future holds. But, you know, I would love to be able to keep all of them, but I've been really impressed with how they've handled it, and I love this team, and I'm grateful that those guys have taken this approach.
What's at the top of your list? What are some initial impressions that you have of offense, defense on situational football?
It's been good. I mean, we're still in the early parts of our installation. You know, today was the first day that we had a 2-minute. You know, it's hard to call sacks, things like that, but I think the overall operation's been pretty good. There's always things that we can clean up. We've gotten some tight red area work, but we try to be able to just incrementally introduce those types of things so that we as coaches and players can think alike in these situations. We can learn from it, and so, you know, I've been pleased with it while always acknowledging that we collectively can always improve, and that starts with me.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, Alpha, be careful.
Outstanding.
Anybody, I got any boogers?
Let's see the teeth.
Sweet. I'm like, no, all right, we're getting a little too close now.
How's practice been, and just what's it been like being out there?
It's been super exciting to see some familiar faces. I think it's been obviously we just barely went through OTAs, but going out there and be able to see Trent McDuffie out there in the field, it takes me back to our days up at UW, and it's been exciting. We had another player that we played with at the University of Washington just barely signed to the team, but it's also been exciting. Like we had our competition just barely right there towards the end of practice, and lining up pretty close to the line of scrimmage in the core. Then you see number 95, and I'm like, yeah, Coach, I don't know about those chips anymore, but I'm like, it's been super exciting to be out there and compete with the best of the best.
I know everybody says they're in the best shape of their life in training camp, but you look like you're in the best shape of your life. Is that accurate to say?
I think it's still working into it. I'm like, we haven't got pads on yet, so I think it'll be interesting to see. I'm like, I feel great right now. Body feels good. I'm like, the first, I think the excitement of just getting back into playing football, being around the guys, I think keeps this first block kind of going. So I think the mental fortitude, and then we'll see how well I can continue to take care of my body as we get the pads on. Because I'm like, Landman hit me out there, and I was like, yeah, it's the first time I kind of been hit in a while, so it's good to kind of wake up the juices.
Is there anything that you did diet-wise to kind of get in the shape that you're in?
I would say my eating habits definitely have changed. I used to be, I'd say I still dabble in some McDonald's every once in a while, but it's not as common as it used to be. So trying to watch where I'm at and make sure that I can continue to put my foot in the ground when I need to.
Puka, you've been doing this for a few seasons now. Do you enter every year with a new goal? And if so, what is your goal this season for you personally?
I think something that Coach says is the level of consistency that you have shows how great you can be, and I think that's I feel like there are a lot of things that I have been able to excel at, being effective in the pass game, but especially effective in the run game. I think that's somewhere I wear that badge of run game pride with a lot of honor. I'm like, I go out there and I feel like 2-3 is my little brother, even though he's older than me. But I'm like, any running back who gets the ball, or anybody on our team, I think it's a standard that's been set in our wide receiver room, and continue to set that standard for everybody else.
Do you have a goal personally?
I think staying healthy is one of the biggest things. I know that physicality that I play with, I don't think is ever going to change. It's ingrained in me. So to continue to take care of my body in the ways that I need to.
Puka, every year throughout your career.
You're going to a contract year. Did you give any consideration to not showing up and not practicing?
No, not really. I think the game of football is a safe place for me, and I enjoy that. There have been things outside of my control that I think have impacted the way I've been able to kind of focus and enjoy this game of football, but coming out here and seeing that jersey number 12 hung up in my locker is something that I don't take for granted. And being around this group of guys, I think of all the guys that have reached out in this offseason to be there by my side, and then when we're here in the meeting rooms, just the level of connection that I feel like I have with all the guys out there has it never crossed my mind that I don't want to be out here with these guys.
This was an offseason that there were some things that happened, and maybe it did affect what the contract situation is at this moment. Do you take responsibility for that and kind of know that, hey, I'm in control of how I can control moving forward to make that all work out?
Yeah, I think 100%. There's definitely, trying to take accountability for the things that I know that I can continue to change and can grow in ways that I know that have helped me feel as best as I can when I step out here in the football field and outside of the football field. Being a father is something that has changed my life, but then also just becoming a better person, continuing to work on there's my therapist. I feel like we have a really good connection, and just the ability to communicate in different ways, and to use the safe space that I have out here and finding ways, other places that are a safe space for me outside of the football field.
Can you update us at all on your legal situation and where that stands, and whether that's a distraction for you going into the season?
I wouldn't say so. I don't really have any updates. Some of those things I know that the league and our organization here is aware of, but some of those things just doing my part in the communication of where I'm needed. But I think it's been something for me of being able to continue to communicate and process that information, digest it, so when I do step out here on this football field, I can be totally and completely present.
Puka, it seems like every single year you're taking massive steps forward to get better, and today it seemed like you were always open. Can you talk about how your ability to read defenses has evolved throughout your career?
I'd say the game has definitely slowed down. I can still vividly remember my first pass from Matthew Stafford in Seattle in 2023 of just sprinting full speed in there and him being like, yo, slow down. And so I think the game has definitely slowed down, but then also having communication. I think some said just recently was having Coach Nate Shieldhouse move into the offensive coordinator position, and some of the things that he's communicating, some of the changes in our offense is some things that he said in our receiver room. So being on the same page with him, and then obviously being on the same page as Matthew. There's a lot of times where the defense feels like they're in the best position, and then number 9 finds a way to create holes that aren't really there. So it's always fun to be on the same page page as him and continue to work.
Puka, without Jimmy G here now, so much talk about, okay, who's going to be the backup in case you need him? A report card so far and where Stetson is at this stage, and what are you seeing from Ty?
I think it's been really fun to see Ty. I have the opportunity to be in the quarterback room and to see the questions that he asks and his ability to ask questions, to not be afraid to, hey, if I don't completely understand this, I want to be on the same page as everybody else. And then to go out there and see Stetson get those reps and to play with the confidence I think everybody knows that he has. There's a swagger that he has when he walks out on the football field, and I know in the receiver room you can feel that. I'm like, there's I think swagger, and then there's an aura that number 9 has, and it bleeds into that room. And so it's been exciting to see Steady go out there and play with the confidence to sling it, and then to watch Ty continue to ask the right questions, and then when he gets his reps to go out there and play with confidence.
When it does come to your contract, do you have clarity with the organization on, hey, we need you to take some steps, and then we'll figure that out a little bit later on? Is there clarity between you and the organization on that?
We haven't had too many conversations. I know Coach has been there to support me in some of the things that's been going on in this offseason, and that's been, I think, kind of the main focus as we've gone into, and especially where we are in camp. I know that I have an understanding of that, and he has an understanding that I'll be out here to continue to play football, and some of those things that are just out of my control, hopefully that if I continue to do my part, they'll fall into place.
Puka, when you think your guy LeBron going to the Sixers, and you still going to be at Lakers games?
I think so, 100%. I do have a Luka Doncic jersey, so I'm here. Sadly, I'm definitely not flying out to Philly to make any of those games, but I did see him out in New York, and I told him that. I mean, I know we got a lot of tight ends, and we're running 13 personnel, so if he ever wants to hang up the jersey, we got some cleats for him for sure.
CJ has been someone in the wide receivers room, rookie, late-round draft pick like you will. What have you seen from him? And he's had a pretty solid 2 days of practice here.
Yeah, I think there's a confidence when he goes out there on the football field of his skill set, and I think there's some I feel like everybody in our receiver room, we're blessed to have Devontae Adams and to be able to ask questions because the amount of experience that he's been able to have throughout this NFL career, and he's the first one to ask questions, and just like similar to Ty Simpson of you're getting reps, so there's obviously opportunities for us to coach, but to ask questions on guys who when it's not his rep, I think that's something that CJ has gone up and out of his way to make sure that he's have an understanding of what we're thinking and what obviously is the game plan that we have in our offensive plays.
You guys are Super Bowl favorites, so heading into this season, how important is it to show these fans, but also the rest of the league, that you guys deserve that?
I think that's it's an exciting thing to talk about. It's an opportunity for us to go out here and compete against each other every single day. I'm like, there's still a guy I feel like I have yet to catch a ball against, and that's Trent McDuffie. So I'm like, there's still, I can't really think about going to play against anybody else. If we get the chance to go out there and compete against one of the best every single day, I feel like when I get that first one, I'm gonna let them know for sure. But it'll also be a building block to go and prepare for the games ahead.
When it comes to some of the things that have happened, some of the distractions, how confident are you that that stuff can stay in the past and that you can kind of lock in and not maybe invite any more distractions?
I feel very confident about that. I think continuing some of the things that I was able to establish into my routine, trusting and in closing, I think my circle of trust and allowing the people that I feel like have the inside parts of my life to continue to communicate and trust the people I think who are around me. And I owe a great thank you to my support system, but especially my family through this time. There have been things that obviously have happened this offseason that haven't been the truest reflection of the person I feel like I am and how my mother raised me. And there's definitely been conversations with her to apologize, but also for her to say that she supports me. And also my brothers are I think my biggest critics as well. So I'm like, there were some intense conversations, but loving conversations in order to see improvement.
Last one. You and Devontae build on your relationship, you're two together, and continue that continuity. How do you guys make each other better this year?
I think there's some where he felt like when he came into this the wide receiver room, the physicality I think that we play with. Obviously, he's going into year 40 or whatever it might be, but the acceptance of how we operate in our receiver room, I think that's something that he came in and just adopted that immediately, and I think it showed up in his game, and then the ability for us to be able to learn the levels of separation that he has, and it's been exciting to be able to watch him. Like I said, I'm like, there's always room to improve, and when you watch number 17 go right in front of you, you're like, yeah, there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. So it's super exciting, and I think just to have that level of knowledge, different concepts, different ways to understand defenses, and just to steal leverage, I think there's something that he still does it at such a high level, so it's always really fun to watch him.
It's year 13 for him. Does it look like year 13?
No, not at all. I'm like, the level of knowledge that he has, it feels like year 13. I should say it correctly so he doesn't get mad at me. But no, he looks like we're in year 4 together.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
I wish I had some.
Myles, what's it been like working with this team and training camp here?
It's been a joy. I love the culture that they already have in place, and many of the different players and coaches that I've been able to start building a relationship with. It's been a real joy and a pleasure, and I just want to help continue to build that.
What you expected, or is it different than you maybe thought?
I'd heard stories from like other players who had gone to the Browns and talked about being here in LA, and it's about what I expected, but it's a lot different when you experience it yourself. So I'm glad to be a part of something like this.
How about the transition of coming to LA? What's that been like? Good and bad. You're probably going to mention traffic, but whatever the case may be.
Or weather.
Yeah, that's the good. Obviously.
I'll tell you, I haven't got a lot of time to experience it. Trying to move into a house and learn a playbook and trying to create a relationship with the guys. And I haven't had a lot of time to get out in LA, but I've been here a little bit before, and I've enjoyed my time.
Myles, Coach McVay said that Byron's been learning a lot from you so far with you being here for these first few practices. Can you talk about how you're pouring into those guys and just what you've seen from them so far?
Just try to create a open dialogue. I want to learn from them as well. Their rush styles and how they plan to create pressures and attack the passer. And they also want to pick my brain and see what I'm thinking in different circumstances and situations. And trying to find a way we can work for as one and create the most chaos we can in the backfield.
Did you know a lot about Byron Young's game before you got here, and just what have been your impressions so far of him and the way that maybe he can complement you on the other side of the line?
Well, I'd really taken a notice into his game last year when he started off so hot, and him and Verser were working so well and really complemented each other. So that's when I really started to watch his tape, and since then just continue to watch and getting the chance to play with him. It's like how can I help elevate and play off him and take his game to another level.
All teams are trying to win. All the team. Go ahead.
Have you talked to Aaron Donald about the possibility of playing with him?
No. I've told him, I love to learn from him. I've watched, his tape. Obviously, I think everyone who's been a rusher from anywhere across the line, that they have a lot of respect for him. And I don't want to push him in one way or another. If he's here, I'm gonna be excited to be his teammate, his partner in crime, and I think we can do great things. But it's a difficult thing coming back, and I know he has a family. He has a lot of decisions to make. Last thing he needs is me to push him in one direction or another. So I'm going to support him either way, and I look forward to seeing whatever happens.
He's now trying to work himself back, is what everyone's saying. And we've seen him out at the facility training. Would you train with him if he asked you to say, I want to? Yeah, work out.
Yeah, I mean, I go doing some of his workouts. He come and do some of mine. I think there's a lot we can learn from each other, and I'd love to pick his brain on the kind of things he does to attack his matchups, and I think the same could be said vice versa.
What do you think the hardest thing from coming back after being away for 2 years would be? I know you haven't experienced it, but
I'm just getting back to that tempo. As much as you can try to work yourself back into shape. We get a small taste of it. When you come back from the off season, you got to get your wind and your legs back underneath you. When you get on the field and things are flying around, you got to find a way to get your conditioning back, but slow down the game once more. And someone who as great as he is, I think he can definitely come back and do it. It's just whether he wants to do that for however many games he chooses to play.
All teams are trying to win, and I know you have a fondness for the Browns. They drafted you, but what is the difference in the vibe here, would you say, than in the Cleveland camps of the past?
I would just say just a team that has a culture that's a little bit more set in stone, with leaders all across the board. And I think Cleveland has some leaders that are continuing to develop. Some great teammates that I had, and some great young talent that they continue to draft or pick up. But you see a lot of older veterans here who've had a lot of years here or a lot of years in the league, and been able to learn things and develop who they are as a person, as a teammate, as a leader, and they've helped instill a great culture here. And so I think that's something that it's already ingrained, and I can help to nurture, but it'll take time.
When teammates have discussed you in the last few days, the word that keeps coming up is aura. Like when you're on. So is that something you're conscious of? Is that something how do you react to that?
No.
That your presence really on both sides of the ball. There's something there when you're on the field.
I guess. It's great to hear that they have respect for me. That's what I get from that, because I have a lot of respect for them and how everyone goes about their business here. So it's very appreciated. But well, there's a lot to be done. A lot of rust to knock off. Maybe the ore will increase over time.
Myles, what do you know about Melbourne, Australia, and the chances of a winning week 1? What do you know about Melbourne? What do you know about Australia?
Nothing. I know nothing about Australia. Other than the wildlife, I've taken an interest into that. I was a big Sea Roman fan when I was a kid, so that's about as much as I know about Australia.
And the challenges of winning after maybe 14 or 16 hours on a plane?
I mean, I can't pick the conditions, the location. All we can do is suit up and go out there and play. So it doesn't matter where they tell us to line up. As long as you put the ball down, we're going to go out there and do our thing.
How long does it take you to feel like an LA Ram as opposed to just because you've been in one place for so long?
How long does it take to feel like that? I don't know. I had a pretty good reception from the fans, and the team continued to rally around me and receive me with open arms. So it's starting to feel like home rather quickly.
Kyron Williams said that you reminded him about a chip that.
Oh yeah, I had him in a little precarious position while he was doing some treatment. I was like.
Do you have any other memorable plays against your new teammates that you've reminded them of?
I mean, that was the main one. I never saw him, and he clocked my ass, but I never sacked Matt. Like, I played him once, and I didn't sack him, and before that was golf. So maybe when Aaron comes back, I remember get a picture with him, holding his jersey. It's hanging up in my place in Texas. So that's the only memories I have other than going against Witt. But he's not out here lining up. But maybe he'll come back. I don't know.
Bring them all back.
Why not?
What makes Matt so special?
His decisiveness, his ability to make times on throw, but understanding the pocket when it's breaking down. I would say his aura in the pocket. He has a great presence, knowing when rushers are around, what time to step up. Just knowing how to navigate that. I think that is a great quality for QBs, and it helps eliminate a lot of sacks. Definitely helps the O-line a lot, and some of the throws he makes are just magic.
Did you get close to sacking him or not really?
You tell me.
I don't know.
I think he would say I got close a couple of times.
In only 4 days, have you had a feel for how the group is coming together on your side of the ball? Just to feel like a total unit already.
Yeah, I mean it's a great unit, and we already play together. So it's just about building some chemistry while you're out there. Filling out guys rush patterns, and when the guy's trying to win, what's his fastball, what's his counter, how can you play off of that? And there's small intricacies that you have to develop from season to season, no matter where you're at. But here, there's such great communication across the line and what we want to do. It's easy.
Quentin Lake said that he's rooming with McDuffie and Watson in the secondary group in the dorms. Do you have roommates, and if so, who are you learning from in that group you're with?
I do not have a roommate. I sit in my room and I read, and then whenever I see the guys out, we chat, and if we can eat together, we can talk. Whether it's breakfast or lunch or dinner, I'm happy to interact with the guys and sit down and chat. And it's not just on the field. I like building relationships off the field as well.
With that camaraderie, when we talked to Devontae Adams when he first got here last year, he said it was college-like atmosphere almost. How would you describe it based on your experiences?
It is kind of like that. You know, you hope to have those relationships like you had in college. You know, you had a lot of people coming from a lot of different places for the first time, and you know, I guess the culture was kind of set by, you know, the head coach, and it kind of feels like that now. You know, with Sean, you know, he's so passionate about the game. He's so involved in everything from offense, defense to special teams, and you know that kind of thing is infectious. So, you know, it just feels natural, you know, to want to, you know, be around the guys and you know, get to know each other, because he is that same way.
How has being here changed your approach, if in any way at all?
It hasn't. Yeah, I'm gonna be the same guy. Hopefully the same playmaker. So keep everything the same.
Levi was talking
Last
about
one.
how you guys broke down the huddle coming out of the meeting room. Just to point out the fact that you're bringing some things here. How do you balance? You talked about the culture already here. How do you balance what you bring to this team with the culture that already exists?
It's all a dialogue. I'm not trying to force myself on anyone or try to, you know, take over a group. You know, this group is doing, you know, great without me, and I want to, you know, just try to help elevate, you know, the guys and the playmakers that we have here. So, you know, there's already leaders, you know, in each room, and you know, I want to continue to help, you know, BY grow as a leader, and you know, some of the other guys as well, like Kobe and Fisk, you know, who as well. You know, those guys are going to continue to grow as players and make a lot of great plays for us. So I just want to help where I can, and if I see anything that, you know, I feel like needs improvement, I feel like we can make some changes that would help the team, you know, I'll be there for that.
All right, thanks guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.